Having a thought.
All good? All right, we'll call this meeting of the Buckfield Select Board to order for June 18th, 2024 at 6:31 PM. We do have a quorum. We have another online, I think. Yeah, lost her. Lost her. She may be back though. Always slow. Old business, emergency management update for Vivian.
Okay. I hope you got a chance to read the May monthly report. A lot of good things happened during the month, and I said I would also put together the total amount of volunteer hours. I would say this is like 90% accurate, these numbers, because they were days when it's just like I would write when we started, but hours ended, but this is pretty accurate. And I think there's a copy here for you. So 448 hours, and then divided by 7 months, then I did it again, trying 16 hours a week. I think it's pretty for there, right? To the consideration that it's not, not every year that we have presidents declare these things. So I tried to figure that out a little bit, 178 hours and 40% dedicated to just the storm. Which basically leaves about 9 hours a week otherwise. And the reason I did this was because in the past when I worked for nonprofits, when they go for funding, it's always good to have, data broken down. Hey, by the way, this is the amount of time, the people involved, community involved, that kind of thing. So right now, if you took if you take just the roads and culverts projects, that reimbursement is currently as of today, but it could go up. It's $105,000 of reimbursement. So that's the cash equivalent. If you look at just the volunteer hours, that's the cash equivalent of the volunteers bringing in $234 an hour. So another reason I did it this way is in the future, as you're thinking about going forward, or another storm should come, I think it's worth having this information so we can say, geez, even if we have to hire out somebody beyond, the budget passed. So there's now money in the budget for me and any person director and delegate director, but if you had to go beyond that, you could know what it's for.
Yep.
And then we had another FEMA recovery scoping meeting this past week. That went really well. We've met all the deadlines, everything's in. There's Parks and Rec, it's gonna happen virtually. Cameron and James will be doing that. I have that space, right? Cameron, yeah, that'll be done virtually, so they don't have to come in person, do a whole other site visit because of the photographs being submitted. So,
Tabletop site visit.
yeah, yeah, instead of a tabletop exercise. And then Vicky, Deanna, one of the volunteers, we met from 8:30 to 9:30 and put into the portal the last information I had to go in, so that's done. The other thing that you have in front of you is a resignation letter. Wasn't sure what to write. I hope you don't consider it too formal, but I just wanted to keep it short, sweet, and simple. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. I didn't expect to go beyond April, but I did, and that was my choice, and I'm glad I did it. Especially based on what the town's gonna get back for that. The other thing that I was thinking is, the new fiscal year starts in July, so, somebody might step up between now and then, and where you get advertised, so on and so forth. Karen and I are on the same page. If you look on the second page of the letter, Karen and I reviewed that today. That's the list of either ongoing, in process, and it's pretty simple stuff. I think that first thing is the school work, but that won't happen again until they come up again. But for every piece that's on there, there's a contact data number. And that's it. And Cameron did, you did cut the checks today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did get my mileage, but after you guys approve the warrant article, I'll get the warrant. I'll get that, and so getting gift cards, because Cameron said there was a fee on those now, I guess. So I wasn't aware of that kind of fee, but I'm pretty sure we can just gotta check it individually, balance, so that we don't lose anything. And that's it. I'll be around.
Well, I guess we regretfully accept, but I understand, you've certainly done a lot of hard work, and the EMA can be just a thankless job. I understand that too. I mean, me more than most because I'm involved with it a lot. The technicalities, the time behind it, it's not easy.
Well, the steep learning curve, if you've never done it before,
Yeah.
I think the most, my weakest link is gonna continue to be the computer things. It's fortunate to have people step up and help with that part of it. I love actually all the other parts of it. Once you know the formulas and know the recipe, if you will, correction about. And all of us being new to it made it a little challenging for sure,
Yep.
but it's good.
Yeah, thank you for seeing the need in the community and grabbing the bull by the horns.
Well, in a good place to keep going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
You've set us up in a good way.
very good.
I will make a motion that we accept Vivian's resignation as the emergency management director.
Any discussion? All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
Peter,
Thanks, Viv.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Right, building permit fee schedule. Working on this. Wow.
Yeah, I tried to include some information here to use to come up with a decision. I don't know if you all have had a chance to look it over. I had one neighboring town, and then for Azalea's sort of recommendation, I tried to look at towns that are of similar size, but at the same time, if they have similar population, a lot of times they have a different town, you know what I mean? It might be on the ocean, it might, there's small businesses, so it's kind of hard to really narrow it down and find one just like this, but it seemed like most of them pretty consistently either a set rate per square foot or a set rate per square foot plus a base rate. I guess quite a bit higher. Yeah, what ours is. Yeah. Basically, the most you'll pay in Buckfield is $50. So if somebody builds a McMansion, they're gonna pay the same as the 2,000 square foot. And I think it's last time this was looked at was probably 20 years ago, so things were a lot different. But
Yeah, I did have a chance to review everything. It gave me some ideas. I did notice that some of them were kind of more coastal communities, like Rockport. It's kind of a bigger, more popular community than ours, so to speak. How they compared to our current, I didn't do the math out on like 2,000 and over, but I did the math out to just compare where it would be at for 500 square foot dwellings and 1,000 square foot dwellings. The Belgrade rate would have a 500 square foot dwelling would cost $45, opposed to our current $15. And 1,000 square feet would cost $90 compared to our 20 currently. Looking at Newry's rate, 500 square feet. Newry's rate is 25 cents per square foot of main living space, and then 10 cents per square foot for additional floors, decks, garages, basements. So with that, 500 square feet would be $125. 1,000 square feet would be $250. Surrey has a $50 minimum fee, a 20 cent per square foot fee for residential homes. So 500 square feet would be $100 total. 1,000 square feet would be $250 total. Quite a bit steeper than our current rates, but I do recognize that we need to raise those to match labor going in and inflation. So I'm wondering what is our cost for just having our code enforcement officer go out there and look at a structure regardless of the size?
Well, so typically, if everything's drawn out on the sketch properly,
Yep.
it would be $22 an hour for him to review the permit and make sure that it's up to our ordinances.
Mhm.
However, what was it gonna say? If for whatever reason that sketch is off, say the permit's accepted, and say the sketch showed that it was 25 feet from the property line, and the neighbor calls and says it's too close to my property line, now we're paying a mileage plus time to go up there, photograph it, wait up report. So it's, you don't have to do that every time, but those are the things that we have to take into account. Also with that, people can now, what was the square footage that we did or that you did in the new ordinance? You don't need a building permit, so some of these smaller sheds, there isn't gonna be a building permit fee for it. So you're gonna lose some of that revenue. Which will likely will go into, but there's a lot of things that could go into it. We're not as in-depth as this, we don't require vacancy or occupancy permits in the town of Buckfield, so he doesn't have to go out and make sure everything's all right. He does have to go out and inspect plumbing, but that covers plumbing permits, so. I definitely don't think that it needs to be as steep as some of these are, and it's pretty expensive. Yeah, and 30 cents a square foot.
Right?
And I also don't think it should be based off, and this is just my opinion, I don't think we should be looking at. A rate for the first floor and then charging for the basement and then the second floor, that's ridiculous. Now, a deck, yes, that's new square footage. But I don't think multiplying that rate times 3 floors or however many they've got is necessary. It's just, we want to try and make sure that what's coming in is at least mostly offsetting the code enforcement responsibilities. So that's my input, but I think the very first time we started talking about this, we were talking like in the ballpark of like 5 cents per square foot. No, necessary, because a lot of these are really steep. Yeah. But you also put your cost.
Exactly.
To take out a building.
Right.
Exactly.
But yeah. The other thing I don't know if you noticed too is some towns have a separate building permit rate for government and nonprofits. It's just a flat fee. Some of these are pretty in-depth. I just typed out like the basics, and some of these pricing fee schedules are. That's why I didn't include all the towns. I had several others, but I think it's just getting redundant, putting the same stuff down on one agreement. Oxford, no, here you go. Oxford's permit fee is 15 cents a square foot for living space. Plus they charge a base of $30. So I'd almost argue that they're probably cheaper than Paris and London, and they're a bigger town with more commercial properties, but. It was just interesting seeing how everybody's all over that.
Right.
But the one thing I did find was we're pretty low. But no, Buckfield was the lowest that I could find. But I also didn't call Harper and Son on their website. So so I don't even know what they charge.
But if we can expect that with each permit. We give Kingston an hour to review it on paper and an hour to go check it out in person. Maybe we should have a $40 base charge. And then incremental over a certain amount of square feet. Just an idea.
Yeah, I'm open to most anything as long as we're, pretty much covering the cost of having.
Exactly, like I don't wanna overcharge anyone who's coming and trying to build in Buckfield, but we also need to make that money back.
If you're building a 2,000 square foot home, you're spending $300,000.
Yeah.
$200 building permit isn't outrageous,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying it should be $200, but
Yeah,
In the grand scheme, yes.
I wanna know where you're building a $200,000 house now.
Right,
is it pretty?
Oh, I did that, sorry. Oops, missed all of these. So a 2,000 square foot house at 5 cents per square foot would be $100. I know you're faster than that. Not all of us are engineers. But again, that same person that builds that 2,000 square foot house. In our current scheme is paying the same building permit fee as the guy that's building 4,000 square foot.
So I think it should be,
I think there should be like a minimum of when we start to do an incremental change, like maybe, houses under 1,000 square feet can pay the $40. I'm not sure what work Kingston is doing to check out $1,000 or 1,000 square foot house, so.
but it's also
You tell me if it's fair, but,
houses, right, but you take these permits.
right,
So, somebody. Barn or garage or swing or. They don't necessarily have to go out there, right? So.
yeah,
They don't want to penalize. So.
If you did a base rate of $25, right? So that covers his cost for an hour.
Yeah.
His
To review.
wage, FICA, and all that other stuff, and mileage if he does have to come out. And that basically means that it'd be a minimum, so you could basically build up to a 500 square foot for that $25. And then after that, do your incremental. Whatever you decide. In most cases, 1 hour is sufficient. It's in shoreline zoning, it has to go before the planning board, or you go, there's more. There's other fees associated with some of that stuff too, but
can we add them into our fee schedule?
it's another thing we need to work on. We need a fee schedule period for everything, like photocopies and the things, you go to, we basically haven't charged for photocopies or we don't charge for notarizing, and I don't think we should because the town's the one that paid for us to become notaries and it's a service when the bank went off. But if somebody comes in and wants a paper copy of, our shoreline zoning ordinance at 62 pages, there should be some sort of fee associated with it, Paper's not cheap, but on that aspect, the building permit came up, we're working on the ordinance, and that's when we realized that. Oh,
Yeah. Would we be able to write into it, like, buildings within shoreline zoning must pay an additional fee, or? If we can expect that he's spend extra time at the thing.
You can always update your fee schedule later, so it was a, it's just permanent feature for that.
Isn't it true you can change anytime you want? Yeah.
Yes, the board can review and update that. Move it along. And we don't have a, I mean, yes, we have shoreline along the river and in certain areas, it's not. I'd say in the last couple of years that I've been here, we've only really dealt with shoreline building and construction issues twice that I can think of off the top of my head. But most of the building permits are coming from rural, where we are rural. More out of the way areas, Old Sumner Road, Popcorn Street, here on the side roads. Stuff that's not going to well, but that's definitely something you can look at. And I want to recommend whether looking at some of these other options and seeing what they. And again, shoreline zoning and Rockport's probably what's different.
When I talk one.
Right.
Certainly, Oxford and Terrace.
Yes.
Turner,
Pretty simple.
yeah.
So perhaps a $25 base and 5 cents per square foot after 500 square feet.
In addition for 25.
Right, yes.
Right, because the 25 covers the first.
25 is, yeah, exactly.
Here, $2 for the $1. Which is probably still too low, but it's better than it's gotta be looked at.
So you add 1,000 square feet, it's basically double the cost of the permit. But it's also allowing bigger structures than 2,000 square feet. It's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which works for me.
yeah, and if it turns out that it's not covering costs associated with it, then we can.
Readdress it.
Yeah,
Maybe track.
Yeah, something, right?
yeah.
That sounds like a great plan.
So there, machine.
I will make a motion that we update our Buckfield building permit fee schedule to reflect a cost of $25 as a base fee and an additional 5 cents per square foot for any building over 500 square feet.
Accept that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
You're right.
All right. Thank you. Public restroom facilities.
Not gonna happen.
If I sent you all information,
Yeah,
do you want me to discuss a little bit of them?
Well, I'm sure that there's folks that will want to hear
Yeah.
what the details are behind it.
So, as you saw, I spoke with Nickerson, who currently we rent porta potties off of, because I know we had talked about something temporary until a permanent solution is found. So starting from there, they do service porta potties year round. There is the change in state rules or whatever that we have to get permission from Kingston, who's the LPI, to have a temporary toilet there, more than 7 days. The cost to rent's $135 a month in the summer months or the warmer months, and then $150 a month during the winter. However, that's not an ADA compliant porta potty, and I'm pretty sure we would be breaking the law by offering that as a semi-permanent solution. So the other option would be to purchase an ADA compliant porta potty and I'm pretty sure we would be breaking the law by offering that as a semi-permanent solution. So the other option would be to purchase an ADA compliant porta potty, which is roughly $3,500 delivered. And then have a company like Nickerson service it for $50. I said a visit, but basically a week, if you did it once a week, but they can get pretty gnarly after a week. Um, Speaking with them, they did advise against it. Obviously, we can't avoid ADA compliance. For the reasons that I brought up in a previous meeting about vandalism, drugs, other illicit things that happen. So that's where we're at with that. And then I sent you all a bunch of different articles from other really cities, because I couldn't find anything in rural towns that were doing this. And the one thing that I believe all of them, all they had in common is they have public sewer, so they can drain it out.
But also has a little nice one.
Yeah. Here we'd have to have either privy, a pit privy. There's different types of privies, they give different information on that, which the pit, and then they make a bigger one where they can move it once it's full. I don't understand it, but you know, reading through those articles, if you look at it, one of the towns had also budgeted out as what it would cost to have that service, however many times a week, and what that cost would be. So no matter what, if it were to happen, we'd have to budget for it, get approval, and be able to maintain it. But I just tried to give you as much information as I could in every direction.
Yeah.
You'd have to have a site inspector come out and find the right area to make sure the right soil's there. If you did a privy, if you can't find the right area, you might be able to get a holding tank. You're gonna do a gray water system. Kingston said you might as well do a whole septic, because obviously the septic here is designed for this building, the septic there is designed for that building, and you start adding more to it. So.
And just some extra math for more context. The monthly rental in the summer is $135. Monthly rental in the winter is $150. So I averaged that out to $142.50. If we were to purchase a ADA compliant porta potty, it would take us 24 months of that cost to pay for the porta potty. That does not include a $50 service visit. I was not that committed to the math. That was too hard for me.
2,600.
And then we looked at, Cameron provided information on specifically what I've been interested in was Bangor right now. They're rolling out about 5 public restrooms across the city. Not what I'm recommending here, of course, but they said that their units would be open at the bottom, so you can kind of see people's feet underneath them, if that makes sense. They're kind of like state park bathrooms. They cost $14,000 to build and $3,500 for each concrete pad. So that would be 122 months or 10.2 years of the $142 per month rental cost. So yeah, just putting that in some perspective. Do I think we'll need porta potties in the town of Buckfield for the next 10 years? Yeah, people are gonna be going to the bathroom a lot over the next 10 years. And this actually made me think of maybe it would be a good investment, even if we don't do it here at the municipal center like we are currently talking about. Perhaps the Crossfield ballpark would benefit from a more permanent solution than giving Nickerson's a monthly rental fee. Just something we could explore. But yeah, that was just some perspective I wanted to add. If we buy an ADA compliant porta potty, it would take us about 24 months to equate the cost of the rental of the porta potties. And if we went with Bangor's permanent solution, it would take about 10 years of that same cost per month to pay for that.
bring the whole progress, should I just let the destination,
Mhm.
sorry, so. So that mean
Right, and then,
what?
and then how long would they? Hopefully they would make it that 10 years, but
And if it ends up being a pit style, once it fills up, it gets a little structured.
okay,
From like double desiccant from the economic development standpoint of it, right? The one thing that we do have in town is ATVing and snowmobiling. And you've got the main oil site that our public works drivers, so if they ever look at this now or in the future, that may be a spot where people trailer their stuff. Yeah.
yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That was another thing I was thinking is perhaps. I know it's not as central a location as the town hall, but yeah, over by Public Works where we have those ATV trails could be. A good place to place a more permanent solution. And also it being right next to the Public Works building would hopefully. Deter some bad behavior, not that I think that bad behavior is going to be inherent with the placing of a public restroom.
Like, you know, yes, right.
Speaking of that site, public works, kind of racking my brain. Trying to remember if there's a street light, anything over there, is that,
They have a light outside the building, right?
yeah, partly,
Like a parking lot. Yeah.
oh,
I think there's one on 117 right there, but I don't actually think there's one over the dirt parking lot.
I got the one where it rains.
Yeah, right.
And the thought process there was you can't, nothing can really be done there because of the contamination anyways. So
yeah, it's just.
what's a little,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it definitely, no matter where it goes, we can.
Well, that adds cost, right? You were getting a straight enough.
Yep.
I think. You know, lighting, cleaning, make your note. Jump that 24 months out to with like
Hmm. Yeah,
10 years, you know,
right, yeah. Is this an action item tonight, or can we just keep it to discussion? Yeah.
We're not resolving that.
That's, yeah,
I have it on for discussion because it has to do some research.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Alright. Do we want to make a plan to talk about it further? Up with.
Shall we?
Some kind of analysis on it, because, I mean, like something more thorough that says what it's really gonna. This,
Yeah, I'd be interested in putting together a more thorough cost breakdown as well as reaching out to Bangor and maybe some like. Maybe the Park Service to see what the lifetime of these things tends to look like. So that we can get some more accurate math on it. I'd say maybe if we want to bring this up at the second meeting of next month.
works for me.
Peter, you have the economic development committee.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for them to discuss if they meet up. Maybe there's grants out there.
Yeah. Someone on that committee was really good at getting grants.
Who's on the committee?
That's the committee.
Oh, you're talking about Mark?
No, that's, Mr. Piper.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Technically on that committee.
He's good at grants. That's all right. Yeah, Russell Clark, Mark Fox. Looks like Russell Clark and Mark Fox will be expiring by the end of the month. And then, yeah, Richard Piper and Colleen Halsey.
Actually, she's. Where's it, is she still?
It says June 30th, 2025.
Her term on the planning board expiring soon. Another thing I need to bring up is I only have 2 members on the planning board, which is going to become a problem. In the near future.
Yes, that will.
All right, so we'll plan on talking about that second meeting in July and then the plans.
Sounds good.
All right. New business, the consent agenda.
I will make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
We want to know what 2 of them are big.
Yeah.
I figured I'd just tell you. Payroll warrant 107 includes the selectmen pay as well as the 6-month fire department pay. And then 108, accounts payable 108, that includes the last school payment of the fiscal year. Yeah, let's start all over again next.
Right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Celia, aye.
Peter, I.
Total on that's $234,142.30.
Who's the senator?
Somebody got their treasurer certification.
Did you second or did Bob second?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I know Bob's aware of this. I just wanted to bring it up because I sent him the letter. Since I've been here, I've been working on the certified treasurer program through the Maine Municipal Tax Collector and Treasurers Association, and I just completed it. And they sent a nice little letter to Bob that said, "Hey, congratulations!" So figured I'd let everybody know that I am now certified treasurer through MMTCTA.
What an acronym. Fun.
4 letters at the end of the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's fun.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you getting that. Anything you can do to
Mhm.
further your experience in the town is always good.
Has there been any follow-up on checking with the town's insurance carrier to see if this would entitle the town to a discount on your public officials liability insurance or bond insurance?
Not like that.
I sure did.
No, not yet. The election, yes.
Okay.
All right, approval of the minutes from June 4th, 2024 select board meeting.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes of the last select board meeting.
It's not here, that
We'll second that motion.
It's
It's a quorum of us here.
good. Any discussion? All those in favor, I have to abstain.
Roselia, aye.
Peter, I.
Thank you. Social Services Committee. So they're just looking for a motion to approve AP 109 for $3,250. And those disbursements are in your packet there.
Mhm. I did have a question for them. How soon do we need action on this item? Is this time sensitive?
This is the last meeting you have to approve a warrant.
All right, cool.
I do have, but I include all the supporting documentation from each one of them.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I appreciated that. And I was going through them and I was just curious because, we are currently giving $300 to the Gary Owen House, which is a. Let me bring it up before I fumble it. Thank you. It is a homeless transition shelter in Mid-Coast, Maine, dedicated to serving veterans in distress. Their mission is to transition veterans to a self-sustainable life, living with dignity in the community. I love that mission statement. I appreciate all the work that they do for the Mid-Coast Maine community. We are not part of the Mid-Coast Maine community, however, so I was just curious as to why we're allocating $300. there. I would prefer that the $300 be moved to a donation to Seniors Plus, as they sent us a really excellent breakdown and proposal on how much they service the members of our community. And how much cost they incur from that. They asked us for, one moment. They asked us for $1,000 total after providing 655 Meals on Wheels that were delivered to 6 residents, a value of $5,568. 24 meals enjoyed by 11 residents at Senior Plus social dining sites, a value of $204. 96 requests for information that were answered by community service specialists, a value of $3,740. 3 residents saved $20,253 through Medicare counseling. So on and so forth. It's all in the packet, but they seem to do a lot of great service for our community. So I would just prefer to see that $300 go towards Senior Plus. We still wouldn't be reaching their ask of $1,000. We would be $100 short at $900, but that would be my opinion. Is that something I can make a motion on, or
Can we amend that, or they,
can we amend it?
So. So start with making a motion to approve the recommendations for the sake of discussing and then make the amendments.
Gotcha. I will make a motion that we approve the set of recommendations brought to us by our community social services committee.
I'll second that. Any discussion? We discussed it.
Let's discuss it.
But yeah,
I'm all out of order.
all in favor, Bob, aye?
Did I have to make a amendment to?
Do we have to amend it before we go?
Yeah, don't vote on it yet.
Mhm.
No, discussion for your amendment.
Send my,
Alright, so I will amend that the $300 toward the Gary Owen House be allocated to Senior Plus for a total donation to Senior Plus of $900.
so do we have to second that amendment and then vote? Is that the process? Yeah, everybody's nodding. Okay, so I'll second that amendment. Any further discussion? All in favor, Bob, aye?
Azalea, aye.
Peter, right?
All right, there we go. Good, all right. The Bucket Grill and Pub Special Amusement Permit and Liquor License Renewal, we had the public hearing just before this meeting, and everybody spoke in favor of Bucket. I don't see any reason why we should not approve it.
Let's make a motion. That just made a lot tonight.
Make a motion that we approve the Bucket Grill and Pub Special Amusement Permit. I'll do one of it.
I will second.
Any further discussion? Yes,
Just for the sake of your information, like, we have not received any complaints with code enforcement on any of the events in the last 2 years.
I checked my inbox before the meeting. I didn't receive any feedback there, and everyone who came in person or on Zoom spoke favorably about what they're doing here in town, so.
Can't take social media as official account, right?
now. Now, if they want to come and chat with us, absolutely, yeah, check town office or whatever, that's fine. All right. Any further discussion? No. All in favor, Bob, aye?
Azalea, aye.
Peter, right?
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve liquor license renewal for the Bucket Grill and Pub.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Yeah, all in favor, Bob, aye?
Azalea, aye.
Peter, right?
Yeah,
I guess,
Well, that was me. Yep.
committee reappointments.
I will make a motion that we. Can I make those one motion, just since it's the same person, or should I do it different?
can do both of these.
Okay, I will make a motion that we appoint Everett Tilton for 3-year terms on the Community Events Committee and the Library Committee.
Second that motion.
Any discussion?
Thank you, Everett.
Yes. All in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
You're right.
Great.
I will make a motion that we appoint Cheryl Kaufman to a 1-year term on the Community Events Committee.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
You're right.
All right. MMA Legislative Policy Committee. Vote for 2 candidates.
Did you read over the bios?
Good.
Yeah,
Give them a peruse.
Four. No, I don't personally know who to
Mhm.
actually. No. We've got Gary McCrane, select board member from J. Bethna Thompson, select board chair of Rangeley and tax collector and treasurer of Sandy River Plantation. Randall Canwell, select board vice chair, town of Mexico, and Dina Walker, select board member, town of Well. You all familiar with the LPC is?
yes.
Okay. So we're basically the voice that debates everything before MMA establishes their positioning, and goes to Augusta and argues for our times.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really know anyone personally as that. Yeah,
I'm sure all of them would be great. I considered for like 5 minutes coming through and asking you guys to nominate me, but I don't have time.
Got enough.
So the 3 of us have to make a decision on the 2 candidates that the town is going to vote for. Okay,
Yeah, you all signed the same form.
all right.
I will say out of the group, I think one of them. Beth is currently on the LPC. Was looking to continue to serve. But that's anyway.
seems like it makes sense to keep Beth on. She's on right now, is that the case? Right,
Yeah. I mean, Gary also says he has served past 3 terms and he'd like to continue his service in LPC, so I think they're both.
Oh, I missed that.
Income.
Yeah, that's just looking at that.
yeah, that's good.
Let's see. It is July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2026. I think I would be most
I know.
interested in voting for Ethna and Randall. Um, just personally thinking Ethna served a past term, so she has experience on the board. Hopefully she's found her footing and feels comfortable there, and that's why she is looking to run again. And then Randall just who looks like he's very familiar with serving on boards and also just some fresh blood, but that's just my opinion.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how you feel, Peter?
I'm fine.
I know.
yeah.
Exactly, it's tough, but
Obviously, they're interested in doing it.
yeah,
Who gets to that?
yes.
Right.
feel like I should know Randall with this. I am also on, I'm one of the executive meeting members now too, but I've only been to one meeting, so.
We'll get to one
Really?
after we go for him. All right. Do we need a motion?
I see it.
Alright, I will make a motion that we vote for Ethna Thompson and Randall Canwell for the Maine Municipal Association's Legislative Policy Committee through June 30th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All right, all in favor, bye bye,
Azalea, aye.
Peter,
go. Other business. Public comment,
I did just want to circle back to something that Vivian mentioned in her EMA update. Let me find it. I was curious about have you heard, I wasn't sure when you penned this, have you heard back from BBC yet? Or still waiting on? And how long would you say you've been waiting on a response to those questions?
I'm trying to think, Cameron, Adam and I had that conversation at least weeks. Can you say Cameron 3 weeks?
Which part? Are we talking about the hydrant testing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is legally responsible for overall year-round fire hydrant maintenance, including winter shoveling and fire hydrant pressure testing, the BBC or the town?
So fire hydrant pressure testing, I ran into Glenn last week and I myself asked him about it because I explained to him that we were working on our ISO rating and we needed up-to-date information. And I was told they could get it taken care of this tonight. As far as the cleanup. I still have an answer on that. It's one of those things in multiple communities where the water district says it's the town or the fire department says it's the water district. They all say public works is supposed to do it, right? And if you look at case law, it's not really clear who's responsible for it. Their argument is that we pay hydrant rental or fire suppression, and it's their job to provide water to a point, and that's what they do. The water goes to the end of the hydrant, and it's our job to make sure we can get to it. So, I know in years past, the BBC, I know Lou, the guy who does the maintenance and stuff, has done some of it. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't know if it's as a courtesy or if that was just the expectation in the past, but it has been getting done. Public works been doing it. I don't have the crew to shovel out 20-something hydrants every storm. It's just not possible. So I don't have an answer on that for you. But hydrant test or the testing, pressure testing, I'm told will get done this year. And I do have the last pressure testing results, but it's very outdated. And they've replaced that line on Merle Street, so those are gonna have to be tested anyways, because I'm assuming those are gonna test a lot better than they did when they were tested last.
Thank you.
any other business? No? Any need for executive session? All right, I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 7:26 PM.
I will second.
Right, all in favor? Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
You're right.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
This is